Listen, y'all know that feeling when something just don't sit right? When your mama calls you and says, baby, I got a bad feeling about this. Well, that's exactly what happened with Alexis Ware. This 29-year-old mother from South Carolina told her mama she wouldn't live to see 30. Girl, I wish this was just another case of overthinking. But sometimes mama's intuition hits different. Welcome back to Crime in Cold Light, where we dive deep into cases that hit close to home. I'm your host, and today we're talking about Alexis Ware, a story that's gonna make you wanna call your mama when we're done. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, because this case right here, it's got layers, and we're about to unpack every single one. Now let me paint you a picture. Greenville, South Carolina, nice little city, the kind of place where people know their neighbors and kids can still play outside. It's sitting pretty between Atlanta and Charlotte, so you know it's got that perfect small town vibe with big city access. That's where Alexis called home. And let me tell you something about Alexis. This woman was about her business. 29 years old, mother of 2 beautiful babies, and she was the type of mama who would move mountains for her kids. Everybody in Greenville knew Alexis. She was outgoing, loved spending time with her friends, but make no mistake, those children came first, always. Now her first baby daddy was this guy named Sosa. When they broke up, they actually handled it like grown folks. Stayed cordial, kept it peaceful for the baby. That's how it's supposed to be done, right? Co-parenting without all the drama. But then somebody slid into her DMs. TJ Patterson came through her messages. And girl, it was like lightning struck. These two clicked immediately, and I mean immediately. Alexis couldn't help herself. She was posting about this man all over social media, talking about what he meant to her, how happy she was. You know how it is when you think you found the one. You want the whole world to know. And honey, it seemed like the real deal. TJ was showing her affection right back. They were all over each other's pages. And before you know it, Alexis found out she was pregnant. But not just pregnant, we're talking twins. Baby, she posted about it. They posted about it. Everybody was celebrating because this looked like love. But y'all know, life don't always go according to plan. During one of those routine doctor visits, they got news that would break anybody's heart. They lost one of the babies. TJ posted about that pain, and you could feel it through the screen when he wrote, "This feeling I can't shake or hide, sitting in the doctor's office waiting to hear both of the twins' heartbeat, and the doctors tells you I'm sorry, but I can't find the other one. Heartbeat boy went all over me." Now when their surviving baby boy was born, TJ stepped up, at least from what everybody could see. Pictures of him with the baby, pictures with Alexis, looking like the perfect little family. Everyone around them was saying TJ was a good dude, great father, treated Alexis right. But you know how social media can lie, right? Because soon enough, the same woman who was posting love letters about TJ started posting different kinds of messages. The kind that let you know all was not well in paradise. They tried to work it out, they really did. But some things just can't be fixed. When they finally broke up for good, that's when things got interesting. And by interesting, I mean scary. See, Alexis had this relationship with her mama, Alberta, that was beautiful. They talked every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. Alexis told her mama everything, and I mean everything. So when Alexis started making these phone calls, talking about somebody she called the devil, calling her to say bad things, Alberta was listening. Then Alexis started talking about somebody following her around in a black truck. Not just once or twice. Every time she went somewhere, there was this black truck behind her. Make it make sense, right? But the conversation that really shook Alberta to her core was when Alexis looked ahead to her 30th birthday, just 2 months away, and said something no mama ever wants to hear. She told Alberta straight up, "I don't believe I will live to see my 30th birthday." Now, what would you do if your child said something like that to you? Alberta didn't know if her daughter was being dramatic, if she was having some kind of breakdown, or if somebody was really out there threatening her baby's life. But she knew something was wrong. On January 29th, 2022, Alexis spent the weekend at her mama's house, about 80 miles away from her place in Greenville, just a normal weekend visit. Nothing seemed off, nothing seemed strange, just a daughter spending time with her mama like they always did. The next day, January 30th, around noon, Alexis hugged her mama goodbye and drove back home to Greenville. She had plans that evening that would change everything. Little did anybody know that hug goodbye would be the last time Alberta would ever see her daughter alive. So that evening, January 30th, Alexis had to handle some co-parenting business. She needed to drop off her 2-year-old son with his daddy, TJ Patterson. They agreed to meet at 7:30 p.m. at a 7-Eleven gas station off Highway 29 in Anderson, South Carolina. Now, this was about 40 miles from her home in Greenville, but when you're co-parenting, sometimes you gotta meet halfway. You feel me? The plan was simple. Drop off the baby, follow TJ to his mama's house, then head back to her own mama's house for the night. Basic custody exchange, nothing complicated about it. But y'all, what happened next is why we're here talking about this case today. But then something happened that nobody saw coming. Instead of following TJ to his mama's house like they planned, Alexis did something different. At a red light, she drove around TJ's car and sped off into the night. Just like that, gone. Now, TJ claims he gave Alexis a hug during that exchange at the gas station. But here's the thing. When investigators went back and studied that security footage frame by frame, that hug is nowhere to be seen. And in a case where every single detail matters, that's a problem. That red Honda Accord disappearing into the South Carolina darkness was the last time anybody would see Alexis Ware alive. When February 1st rolled around and Alberta hadn't heard from her daughter, she knew something was wrong. Remember, these two talked every single day, multiple times a day. Alexis not calling her mama? That wasn't normal. That wasn't Alexis. So the family did what they had to do. They filed a missing person report with the Anderson County Sheriff's Office. The official search for Alexis Ware had begun, but precious time had already been lost. The next day, February 2nd, they got the call that every family dreads. Alexis's red 2019 Honda Accord had been found abandoned on a dirt road in McCormick County. Now let me tell you where this car was found. It was in a heavily wooded area, about an hour's drive from that Anderson gas station where she was last seen. This wasn't some place you just stumble across. This was remote, isolated, the kind of place you only go if you know exactly where you're headed.
Alexis's mother says she talked to her daughter just hours before they say she was last seen. In complete shock right now, they say they just want to bring her home, back to her family and children.
Alexis was reported missing Tuesday, February 1st.
The search for Alexis Ware continues.
We just want Alexis home.
The Anderson County Sheriff's Office says Alexis was last seen more than a week ago.
She means the world to the entire family. Alexis is the light of the party.
Deputies say she was last seen headed north on Highway 29. Alexis's family says she met up with her children's father to drop the kids off. They say the two left, but then Alexis sped off. Her family says her children's father tried to call her, but couldn't get a hold of her.
When I wake up, that's all that's on my mind. When I lay down, I hate to even go to sleep, thinking that I'm sleeping peaceful and she's somewhere out there.
The sheriff's office says Alexis's car was found in McCormick County Thursday.
Alexis's mother, Alberta, has received numerous messages from a person claiming to know her whereabouts.
I asked to speak to her. Can you send me a picture of her? They never put her on the phone, even though they said they would.
Alexis's family is begging for answers.
We can't do anything but think about her. This beautiful young lady right here. She needs to come home. We need her home.
Investigators say they're searching the entire region, including McCormick County, where Alexis's car was last found. If you have any information, you're asked to contact the Anderson County Sheriff's Office.
When investigators got to that car, they found Alexis's cell phone inside. Her purse was there. A bag of clothes was there. Near the vehicle, they found a black hair bonnet that Alexis had been wearing that night. Everything that should have been with Alexis was there, except Alexis herself. Law enforcement went all out trying to find her. They combed through those woods on foot, brought in search dogs, had helicopters circling overhead. The FBI got involved because local authorities knew they needed all the help they could get. But after all that searching, all those resources, all that manpower, nothing. It was like Alexis had just vanished into thin air. Now when a woman goes missing like this, investigators know where to start looking. Statistics don't lie. Most of the time, when something happens to a woman, it's somebody close to her, somebody she trusted, somebody who had access to her. So both TJ Patterson and Sosa found themselves under the microscope. The community started talking, social media started buzzing, and before you know it, rumors were flying everywhere about what these men might have done to Alexis. But here's where things get messy, because rumors and evidence are two very different things. Both men felt the pressure to defend themselves publicly, and let me tell you, Their explanations raised more questions than they answered. Sosa came forward talking about how Alexis had been acting strange in the weeks before she disappeared. He said she called him at 1:30 in the morning, just days before she went missing, and what she told him was chilling. According to Sosa, Alexis said, "Well, my last 5 exes within the last 7 years, they died. I wish death upon them." Now, what are we supposed to do with information like that? Sosa painted a picture of a woman who was sending him strange messages about ladybugs crawling on ceilings, talking about her zodiac sign, claiming she had won the lottery. He said she even spent the night at a lottery office in Augusta with her kids in the car. TJ Patterson also went public with his defense, posting videos on social media because he felt like the community was coming for him. He was frustrated, talking about how people were nailing him to the cross and calling him a suspect. In one of his videos, he said,
he was like, yeah, I said, man, I'm gonna pull up. I'm going to church today. You know what I'm saying? So I pulled up. I sat in the car. I ain't even get out the car, man. I'm shedding tears because the shit hurt me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen it like this. So, you know what I'm saying? I go to church. We go to church. Leave church. Now, mind me now, that before I went to church, Lex didn't even want me to go to church. She kept on saying, TJ, don't go to church. I keep seeing you down there on oncoming traffic like a car gonna hit you head on. She saw me a car crash, which I got in my inbox. So somebody got killed on the head on car crash. I'm like, Lex, man, listen. One thing about it, you can't stop death. You feel me? Like, whatever happen, gonna happen. I ain't scared of it. I ain't scared of death. You know what I'm saying? We all gotta go. So I went on to church anyway. She begged me not to go. I went on anyway. So we left church, came home, changed clothes, and went to the game and watched the NFC and the ALC game. Went to Wild Wings. You know what I'm saying? Watched the Kansas City game up there, Wild Wings. Left Wild Wings, went to my aunt's house. You feel me? She called me. And I put on speakerphone, let my cousin hear how she talking out the side of her head. So she got there, she was like, she said, where you at? I said, I'm at my aunt's house watching the game. So she was like, well, come and meet me on 29 at 7-Eleven where you get the kids. She said, I'm about to run out of gas. I got like 3 miles left. I said, okay. So as she talking, she like, TJ, watch out for these cars. Watch out for a white car, gray car, black car. Now, mind me, now I'm like, okay, so I put on speakerphone, let my cousin and everybody hear. So I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. So my cousin like, boy, go get your son, boy. So I'm like, shit, I say no more. I got him up. We left. I pull up at 7-Eleven. You know what I'm saying? She's sitting at the gas pump. I get out, go in the car. Go in the stove. I pump 35 in her gas tank, and I put 20 in mine. I come back in, come back out, get my son out the car. You know what I'm saying? She asked me, could Naomi go with me, her daughter? I'm like, yeah, she can go. So I was like, she said, okay. She said, TJ, watch out for this car. She got pointing at cars, like white car, black car, gray car. She said, watch out for these cars. She said, matter of fact, don't stop at no red lights. So I'm like, man, what you need? I said, man, you need help. You need to get some help. So I'm like, she was like, she don't TJ, I'm telling you. She's like, give me a hug me. So I hugged her, you know what I'm saying? The hug didn't feel right, something wasn't right. So I got there and hugged, got in the car, and I pulled off. For y'all the one that's in Anderson, I turn on Amity Road. As I pass Wellfire Church, I barely passed Wellfire Church. And she got dang on, she sped around me. Bus right going out Andersonville Highway. So I just started calling. I'm like, where the hell she going? She supposed to be following me to my mom's house. So she said she was going to her mom's house. So I'm like, damn, that's what I called. I called about 3 times. She cut the phone off.
Both of these men were trying to distance themselves from what happened to Alexis, but their public statements, they just made people ask more questions. After a thorough investigation, TJ Patterson was eventually ruled out as a suspect. Police said they found no evidence linking him to Alexis's disappearance. No motive, no means, no proof of foul play. But being cleared by the police and being cleared in the court of public opinion, those are two very different things. Meanwhile, the investigation uncovered some disturbing details about Alexis's final days that made everyone wonder what was really going on in her life. So what were these disturbing details I mentioned? Well, buckle up, because this is where the story gets even more complicated. Just days before Alexis disappeared, she did something that had everybody scratching their heads. She gave away practically everything she owned to a woman she considered her mentor. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Her car, salon equipment, household items, you name it. Now, this woman came forward later to explain what happened, and her story is something else.
Lex was my mentor. Lex called me. They can fact check this, y'all can fact check. I want to fact check. Lex called me Saturday and said, You can have my car. You can have the keys to my house. I'm gonna give you everything. I said, Lex, why are you doing this? She said, because I love you and I want you to have a fresh start. I want you to have something. I want you to have more than what you have now. You can have everything in my apartment, and the things that you can't use or the things that you don't want, you can sell them. I got messages of me texting her saying, damn, bro, like, I love you. You feel me? Like, I really appreciate it. Lex told me, come to the address that y'all are talking about that I sent her. She sent me an address. So I don't know what her brother talking about. She sent me an address. Jaquisha can vouch. Lex told me to come get. She sent me the address. She said, I want you to come up here Tuesday morning. This was Saturday when she texted me the address. She said, I want you to come up here Tuesday morning. I said, okay. So I talked to Lex Sunday. She called me and she woke me up out my sleep. She said, and her mother was right beside her for the whole conversation when she.
But here's where it gets interesting. There were also rumors floating around about Alexis seeing a married man after she broke up with TJ. When investigators tried to follow up on this lead and asked to search this man's house, he straight up refused. Now, you tell me, if you got nothing to hide and a woman who was allegedly seeing you goes missing, wouldn't you want to help however you could? His refusal to cooperate had people talking, but without probable cause, investigators couldn't force the issue. Still, that non-cooperation raised red flags that never got resolved. While all this was happening, Alexis's family was not sitting around waiting for answers. They organized search parties, put up billboards, and offered a $5,000 reward for any information that could lead to an arrest or finding Alexis. The Black and Missing Foundation even donated billboard space along Woodruff Road to keep Alexis's case in the public eye. At one of the vigils, Alberta spoke about the pain of losing her daughter, and her words will break your heart.
My daughter, Alexis, has been missing since January 30th of 22. It was just a couple of days before her disappearance that she told me that she felt like she was in danger, that a black truck was following her. She felt like she wasn't going to make it to her 30th birthday. She was getting weird phone calls, text messages. She goes missing 2 days later. Her vehicle was abandoned in the rural area. The same area they found her car in is where we put up the missing person flyers. She was a good mother. She loved her kids. And I'm the one raising her children. To be able to know what happened to her will help bring closure to our family.
Now let me be clear about something. Sosa and TJ both had their own reasons for wanting to clear their names. The community was pointing fingers, social media was buzzing with theories, and both men felt the heat. But their explanations, while they might have cleared them legally, left a lot of people with more questions than answers. Here we are over 2 years later, and Alexis Ware is still missing. Her 30th birthday came and went, just like she predicted to her mama. The case remains open and active, but leads have dried up. The FBI brought resources and expertise, but even federal investigators couldn't solve the mystery of what happened after Alexis sped away from that gas station. The family continues to fight for answers, holding vigils, maintaining social media pages, keeping Alexis's name and face in the public eye, because they know that somewhere, somebody knows something about what happened that night. This case serves as a painful reminder of how dangerous intimate relationships can become, and how the people closest to us can sometimes be the ones who pose the greatest threat. Whether that threat came from an ex-partner, a current situation, or someone else entirely, Alexis's instincts about not living to see 30 proved tragically accurate. It also highlights the challenges that investigators face when dealing with cases involving Black women. We know the statistics. Mindmoulders, Black women go missing at higher rates, get less media attention, and often don't receive the same level of resources for their cases. Alexis's family had to fight for every bit of attention their case received. Today, Alexis Ware remains missing. Her red Honda was found, but she never was. Her children are growing up without their mother. Her family is living without answers. And somewhere in South Carolina, someone knows exactly what happened on that dark night in January 2022. If you have any information about the disappearance of Alexis Ware, please contact the Anderson County Sheriff's Office at 864-260-4400, or you can submit information through Crime Stoppers at 0800-555-111. And to anyone listening who might be experiencing threats, stalking, or fear in their own relationships, trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, reach out for help. Talk to family, friends, or call the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Don't wait for the situation to escalate. Alexis Ware saw her death coming, but she couldn't escape it. Let's make sure her story serves as a warning that might save someone else. Until next time, this has been Crime in Cold Light. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this story. Because the more people who know Alexis's name, the better chance we have of getting the answers her family deserves. Rest in power, Alexis Ware. Your story will not be forgotten.